Rip. Hope all is well, that you're staying warm and dry this winter. Today I'm focusing on Uruz, working with this Stader and Galder movement and practice. When it comes to working with its Stader, one thing that's important is the 9 points of the foot. To focus on that, having those is helping you ground. So you got your 5 toes, you got the heel of your foot, the 2 balls, and the outer side. All 9 points. When you're standing in any Stader, you want to make sure that you're grounded, you're rooted. And so those 9 points of the foot, you should feel them on the ground. You should feel each of your toes contacting the ground, the 2 balls, your heel, and the outer side of your foot. Like these 9 points are all having contact with the ground. And when you're working with balance and helping with grounding, you want to try to have all 9 points of these of the foot having contact, no matter what Stader or movement you're doing. If you're grounding, helping to ground that energy and root it, that's important to have those 9 points each touching the ground. And to find that balance, which we'll talk about later on in Gabo, you want to try to have the weight evenly displaced as well, right? You want to have it like good, strong contact with the ground. So Uruz Stader is basically just, right, getting in the stance. I like to try to straighten the back and elongate it, really root, so all 9 points of the foot are grounded into the ground, right? And you don't have to be rigid. You know, having a little flexibility in the knees is important to help with the flow of energy as it naturally flows up the body, right? The one visualization that comes with this meditation is to imagine roots seeping down from those 9 points, and then also from the center of the foot with what in martial arts is the bubbling well, like you're having it so that the energy's pooling in there, and then so as you're growing these roots, like you're rooting your energy down, right? This is all part of that visualization with the Stader. And at the same time, one of the things that's happening in the Uruz, which kind of starts in Uruz and continues on all the way up to Kanaz and beyond, but this begins the cycle of building our core. So like the not the visualization, but the sensation of this, just holding this Stader, naturally kind of tightens the belly and the core part of our body. And so then with the movement, there's different variations that I work with. Some is just coming straight from the posture and then just going up and down. And again, like you're building your core and you're focusing on trying to make sure that your feet, so you're not wobbling one way or the other, but you're kind of rooted and grounded. So no matter with this movement, you're working on keeping those feet grounded and steady and strong, like an Uruz, like just powerful and rooted. And then the movement. So there's that. I work with. One is I'll come up so that I'm breathing the energy up into my core, and then sinking down again. And then sometimes I'll even just come wide open. So just work with, of course, and do both sides. So that's the movements. The Galder, again, I just use the root sound, so ooh. And again, so like when you're doing that, when you're holding the Stader or doing the movement, ooh, like really feel that ooh, like feel it. Feel it. Keep bringing your attention to your core. Keep feeling the muscles tighten and loosen. Relax, letting you relax at the same time. So with Uruz, one of the things I wanted to emphasize is grounding. And so when it comes to Rune, I go, of course, especially in this beginning, I'm really focusing on just the physical movements and the postures and just working with the body and bringing attention. But each rune is layered, right? It's not like we're just working on the physical body. We're also working with our emotional being, our mental realm, our social realm, our all the different domains of who we are, what we're constituted of. and then even just with different aspects of the soul, which we'll get on, later on. So when it comes to grounding, like if you're mentally frazzled or just all over the place, learning how to ground yourself, bring yourself, root yourself into this moment. In the blog post I have linked under this video, I'll have a list of different things that different things that help us ground on those different domains. So like if we're frazzled, learning how to root and get into our body, emotional turmoil, like just energetically amped, like all these things can be addressed by just grounding ourselves in the moment and into these bodies. So for the next couple weeks, I just encourage you to just really work on it when you go through the movements and the starter. Just always remember that you're bringing in Thea's lesson of just being aware and present, fully present. And with Uruz, like you're working on grounding and rooting. So no matter what movements you're doing, even if you're working with like the Raido, which one of the movements is just walking meditation, just you're bringing the each lesson. So Theu, awareness is coming through when you work with all the runes. Uruz, again, grounding. Doesn't matter what rune you're working on, that is something that is to be incorporated. So when you're doing the movements and stuff, bring awareness to having yourself rooted and grounded in those 9 points of the foot. So for the next couple weeks, just work on that. And also, again, on the blog post, I have a list of different things that help with grounding. If we're in emotional crisis and just totally, out of it, or even in a psychotic episode, just being able to connect with the senses. For instance, with working with sound, right? One meditation you can do is just stretch your hearing out as far as possible. Out, 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 out. How far distant? What's the most distant thing you can hear? And then bring your attention to, like, if you're in a building, bring it to what's going on outside. Like right now, the rain's falling on the roof, right? And then you bring yourself into the space. And if you're in a house, like try to listen to something in a different room. Maybe the washing machine in the laundry room or something, or some kids talking, or video games, or television, or whatever, something in another room. And then bring yourself into this room. Like, what do I hear right now? I hear the buzzing of lights and some drips, some moisture. So, just bring yourself, and then bring yourself into your body. Listen to your breath. Right? Just connect. So, like, all those things is a way of helping you ground into this body, into this moment. Right? And that works with all the senses and, a bunch of other stuff. So grounding is really important, especially from the energetic level, as we, working through this first ayat. It's a lot of focusing on the body's energies, right? Working with just getting the energies flowing and increasing the flow and processing through stuff, which we'll get into with the second ayat. So just really make it a habit. Grounding is very important, because when we start to increase the flow of energy within our bodies, if we're not grounding it really can frazzle us and like make us so we have difficulty sleeping, because we've just increased just imagine like drinking mugs of coffee, right before bed. So that's kind of one of the consequences of increasing the body's flow of energy, is that it frazzles us for a while until we acclimate to it, and our ability to be present with more and more energy is easier. But anyhow, so I wish you well, be blessed, and until next video.
Odin, Thor, Freyr, Freya, Sif, Frigga.